I remember the first time that I held $10,000 in cash, and it's not from what you think, like me running my own business and I had this big withdrawal and, I made all this money and I was able to hold my own money in cash. No, the first time I was able to hold $10,000 in cash, the thing that made me realize that I needed to get my money up and do something about my lifestyle was when I was working at my casino job. And I worked there and I was dealing blackjack, and I had this guy come to my table, older, like white guy, blah, 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 which I guess doesn't really matter, but I just say this as a young black girl. I know what this feels like, and if you're black, you know what I mean. But this guy, he comes to my table and he drops down this wad of cash. Bitch, I don't even know how much $10,000 was in cash. I could smell the money. And mind you, this guy, he had the money to reserve the table for himself. So it was just me and him. And he drops down this money. When I tell y'all, I could not stop myself from grinning. I tried to keep it so professional. And this is not the first time I've held a large amount of money. I've had people come in with $1,000, $2,000, whatever, but $10,000 all cash, straight $100 bills. Never in my life experienced that. And I've touched that kind of money before, but it was all digital. You know what I mean? I never actually physically held that money. And I remember like having to count everything out, and I was just like looking down like, because I just had to keep going. This guy, he's cooling, he's chilling, he's not worried about nothing. He's just ready to start playing blackjack. But me, that was a life-changing moment for me. And that's when I realized the people that came into the casino that I worked at, the people that had the most money were entrepreneurs. They were business owners. They didn't work for anybody else. And I don't say this to shit on nobody who has a 9-to-5. I've worked 9-to-5s. I'm telling y'all the story right now of how I was at my 9-to-5 and I had the epiphany of, damn, I need to do something. Like, I want to be like you when I grow up. You know what I mean? And that was when I realized, I was like, whoa, I got to be an entrepreneur. All the people that come in there with the most money, they are business owners, okay? They are entrepreneurs. And it makes sense because if you have a 9-to-5 job, you are capped at the amount of money that you can make. You're capped. If your boss says, hey, you can't have overtime today, you're done, okay? If you call out of work that day, you just gave up some money. You get what I'm saying? So when you're an entrepreneur, you just have more freedom, more flexibility. This guy was able to sit there with just me and him. He bought out that whole table outside of the whole casino because he could. He had the money and the flexibility. And I said, you know what? Yeah, that was it. That was it for me. That was my aha moment. You know what I mean?